dude, let's get started on the sequel. Let's see how they tie in the rest of things and how it ends. I mean, the war ends. That's a guarantee. But let's see what kind of new fresh perspectives we're gonna get along the way. Argonne offensive, France, September of 1918. Ah, so they're doing a time skip already, huh? Well, the art style looks pretty much, it's like 1-to-1 the same. Maybe it runs a bit smoother now at 60 FPS. At least I'm with Freddy, so I think that's a good sign. Oh, Jesus. I don't think anyone survived 3 grenades. I saw that.
The last 3 years of war have shown no mercy to either side. The bitter fighting continues across Europe over land, sea, and air, leaving behind mountains of casualties and many more broken souls. The United States till now had remained neutral, but the mounting economic pressure and the return of Germany to unrestricted submarine warfare finally awakes the sleeping giant. On April 6, 1917, the United States declares war on Germany. Within months of the declaration, the U.S. Army launched the first universal draft. And despite enduring segregation in their own country, over 360,000 African Americans enlist, eager to show their patriotism, in hopes of returning home as heroes. James is one of these men.
So, this is one of our new perspectives, huh? Yeah, I forgot the game did imply that it sounded like we were going to have the United States enter the war at a perspective from
I hope this letter finds you well and that working at the docks is not too backbreaking. It's good to receive news from you and from home. Keeps my mind off of the war. We wallow in the trenches, in the mud among the rats and the dead bodies, afraid that if we stand tall, we might catch a bullet. But if you take anything from my letter, I want it to be this. Do whatever you can to stay away from this madness. You followed me everywhere when we were kids. But please, don't follow me here, James. There is nothing here but misery and death. Be safe and stay home. Freddy.
They like brothers or father? I don't think it's father-son. They kind of look about the same age, maybe. But I think he did address him as brothers, so yeah. They're family related. Okay. Training Camp, United States, July 16th, 1917. Alright. Let's see how they did the menu changes. Okay, so we still have objects to collect. That's typical. Diary entries. Probably as we go along as usual. I ain't touching that. I don't know what that does. It doesn't even tell me. Alright, as usual from the first game, I did read the description and all that, so let's see. Entry of the United States into the First World War. The United States entered World War I in April of 1917, 1 and 2.5 years after the war began in Europe. President Woodrow Wilson tried to remain out of the war for as long as possible, and public opinion remained largely against U.S. intervention until the beginning of 1917. Unrestricted submarine warfare, as well as the Zimmerman telegram, pushed the American government into the war. There was technically a third event. I will say that they kind of overlooked. It's the sinking of the Lusitania ship, which had a couple hundred Americans on board. And Germany's justification to sink it was that they were probably secretly hauling military cargo aboard. And I guess later reports found out that that was maybe true-ish to an extent. But on the surface, it was like just perfect headlines to say, oh, they sank an unarmed vessel and killed innocent people aboard. So that's just a small nitpick there I have. Yeah, you can still see the historical pictures. Alright, Selective Service Act in the draft, which every U.S. Male citizen over here still has to sign up for, even though we haven't used the draft since the Vietnam War. But let's see, Selective Service Act enacted on May 8th, 1917, started the beginning of the draft of U.S. soldiers to fight in Europe. For the first time, the draft targeted all men between the ages of 21 and 30, including African-American men. They were required to register for possible selection to serve. By the end of World War I, 2 million men volunteered, and 2.8 men were drafted. 2 million of them were sent to fight. For the United Kingdom, voluntary service turned into conscription at the beginning of 1916. UK Dominion countries sent volunteers beginning in 1914, but national conscription didn't happen in Australia and only started in Canada in January of 1918. So, yeah, UK Dominion is countries like Canada, Australia, New Zealand. I'm not sure if India is considered a Dominion at that time because it was... But yeah, I think that's considered the British Empire country/regions. But yeah, since it looks like we're playing the perspective of an African-American soldier joining the war, they're obviously going to cover the deep-rooted racism in the military leading up to the First World War. Segregation. Although 1865 saw the end of slavery in the United States, African Americans were still subject to discrimination. Segregation was legally enforced through a series of laws voted at the state or local levels and known as black codes. Well, black codes, but the terminology we're looking for is Jim Crow laws. That is the actual over-encompassing term that people throw out there. But I guess that's the other term they used back then on paper. Although they were allowed to marry and sometimes purchase property, interracial marriage was largely legal, and other laws infringed the right of African Americans to act as a witness, vote, or bear arms. During this era of white supremacy, violence, and that includes lynchings and beatings, was perpetrated against African Americans, particularly in the South. I mean, post-Civil War era, the only thing that they got different was a quote-unquote veil look attempt at giving some rights. Then you had sharecropping laws. Reconstruction era didn't do much for them technically, even though on paper it looked like it would have. And then Jim Crow laws kicked in, and then the military was on a federal level still segregated until I think it was, I don't know the exact year, in the 40s. I know it was between 47 to 49. It was under Truman's administration that desegregated the military officially. Sort of the Korean War, if I'm not mistaken, was the first one that you actually had integrated regiments. So let's see, military training camps are completely segregated, ensuring that white and black soldiers would train and live in separate facilities. Yeah. Typical for the time. Alright, one more, guys, and then we can actually get to the gameplay. Alright, the early days of the 15th. The 15th New York National Guard Regiment was an infantry regiment from New York State. The regiment consisted mainly of African-American soldiers, but also included men from other countries such as Puerto Rico, Cuba, and Guyana. Sorry. They were led mostly by white commissioned officers, but also included a few African-American commissioned officers. After completing their training in New York with limited equipment, the 15th was integrated into the U.S. Army and finally got proper equipment, 1 gun per soldier. Yeah, that was another thing. What I remembered being taught about World War One is that the segregated units were not given the same equal treatment in terms of what they were allowed to train and actually operate with, and they mostly saw the segregated regiments as still auxiliary / support roles, never frontline infantry. Let's see. Then they traveled south to Wadsworth Camp, but couldn't complete their training due to high racial tension with the local population. They were sent to war shortly thereafter. Yeah, that was another issue. The local camps couldn't really train these guys because the people took offense to that. I remember this in the United States. I mean, most of our history is enveloped with slavery and racism, so... Alright, now to the actual gameplay. Oh, that's already your first sign right there, everyone. Racism and segregation at its finest. Yep, can't go through the same door as your fellow American. You have to go through a separate door now. And separate lines, yep. Not too far-fetched from the truth. Oh, just like Emil, we're changing into our outfit for the rest of the training. So, one-to-one example. Alright, what item is that? For a second. Draft card. Registration card for the draft was filled in by U.S. recruitment agent. During the Great War, the U.S. Army was segregated, while the U.S. Navy did not recruit African Americans at all. While the U.S. Navy did not... Okay, sorry, I'm repeating that. Draft cards had their left corner removed to indicate that a recruit was African American. Wow. Look at me, people. How much more obvious do you have to get? Even I didn't know that small detail, and I'm just like... Another sign of why you should never forget history, or you're doomed to repeat it. Stop being ignorant of the truths back then of what happened. That's all I'm gonna say. You have to accept the good and the bad parts of history. Not sugarcoat it or change the narrative, which a lot of people like to take advantage of these days with their alternative history takes. That's fact. Alright. Yep. Broom. Yeah, you don't get a rifle, son, you get a broom, because that's how much we think of you these days. Or back then, in their time. Thankfully, the tutorial is pretty straightforward, just like the first game so far. It's a different setting, of course. Okay, so they changed the controls because it used to be left trigger to hold. There we go. Another item. Let's see what this one is. Rattlesnake patch. On April 8th, 1917, the 15th National Guard chose the rattlesnake as their insignia. Their motto was, "Don't tread on me, goddamn, let's go." Alright. Okay, I'll give them credit. It's actually a pretty good one. I'll give them credit, that's pretty cool. Oh, another item. This is the last one. Hey, friend, good to see you. And we're still in the tutorial, so you didn't really miss much. Let's see, what was the item I just picked up? Broomstick. When the 15th New York National Guard Regiment began basic training in In a recruitment campaign in New York, there's only 250 rifles for 2,500 men. The recruits thus performed their drills with broomsticks, and would even perform their drill, even march through the streets of New York with them. Oh my god. Oh my god, that is so fucking embarrassing to think about. Dude, I just said earlier before you guys showed up with hello. Yeah, hey Lieutenant, good to see you. Yeah, well, we're African-American Yankee, or the 15th New York Regiment, so... Let's see, once this regiment was officially incorporated into the Army, they finally obtained the same equipment as other soldiers to be able to train properly. Have I squished my hog today? I don't know about the hog reference, but Walter is back in this game, you know, the 1000 IQ dog. We'll eventually get to see him again. Yeah, so we're just in the tutorial, Lieutenant, so I hope your day's been going well as well as you. No, I actually have not heard anyone say that once, I'll be honest. There we go. I did it for the French flag, even though I wasn't French. I had to do it for the American flag.
Dear Freddy, it's good to hear from you. Sorry to disappoint, but it looks like I'm following you around again. I've already enlisted with the 15th New York National Guard Regiment, or the old 15th, as they call us. We're done with our training and on our way to the front.
I'll mention something in a second.
France. We're on our way to help you win the war, but don't you worry about me. I can take care of myself just fine. Your little brother, James.
So he is the little brother of Freddy. Okay, you remember Freddy the badass American that took on the Zeppelin and all that? And all that. That was
April
awesome.
9th, 1917.
Apparently James is the character we were playing as.
This geographic stronghold, held by the Germans since the early days of the war, remained impenetrable. In the latest attempt to break through the German defenses, ground forces were ordered to team up with the British Royal Flying Corps.
Ooh, we're gonna finally cover the flying corps of the war. Yeah, Vimy Ridge was one of those fights that a lot of the air corps took part in. So yeah, it looks like we're continuing from March, April of 1917.
The attack, the soldiers were given a moment to write to their loved ones.
Yeah, like I said, I know I haven't really said much to everyone in chat. I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss out on anything important in this game so far. Yeah, I hope you all are doing fine today.
Interrupted by George's unconventional landing, Freddy soon learned that his unit was going to take part in the operation and be paired up with the peculiar British pilot, now grounded and without a plane to fly.
Ready?
Oh, okay, we got to play as one of the new characters already. Airfield New Vimy, April 9th, 1917. Okay. Let's see. Let me make sure I catch it with chat. No, but I'm hoping to forget about it in real life for this stream. I mean, there is in real life references, though that was past life for everyone else. Alright, let's see the facts, everyone. We're going to read the facts. So now we're actually covering the aviation part of the war, which I was surprised they didn't do that. How long after the first game was made? I think the first game was 2013, 2014. This came out in 2018, 2019, I think, on phone. And within the last month, they finally ported it to console and PC, and so... I know, it's kind of a weird gap to do 5 years before you finally did a port, but it's here, so I ain't complaining because I was about to download the emulator for the phone version. Okay, to the facts. Aviation and aircraft. As the war began, aviation was yet a true Army corps, though it would become one during the war. The technical progress achieved by each side led to air superiority, alternating according to which aircraft were in use. The German monoplane Fokker E-3, with a system that allows it to shoot through the propeller, which was groundbreaking back then, was the first to deliver decisive air superiority in 1915. With the arrival of the FE-2B and DH-2, which is the Allied plane equivalents, with their rear propellers, rapidly evened out the playing field, allowing Allied pilots to shoot from the front as well. Alright. Oh boy, hopefully this survived the everything needs to be political thing that happened in 2016 onwards. I mean, so far from my initial impression, they're not sugarcoating it. They're still covering the hard facts. They covered segregation with the African American volunteers from the United States that during that tutorial level you joined in on. So, all right, famous air units. Pilots and aircraft were used by all sides as a propaganda tool. They helped to convey a more chivalresque image of the war. I've honestly never seen that being used. Then the poor soldiers stuck knee-deep in the mud. Each country had their star squadron. 20 Squadron for the British, the Lafayette for the Americans, which there is a film about that, which may not be the best film, but it does give you an idea. I think it was called Flyboys. It was like a mid-2000s film. But it was for the American Volunteer Corps for the French Air Force. I don't know, I gotta fuck up the French here. Sigon for the French. And Jasta 11 or Jagdstaffel for the Germans. And then last one, so the ACE system. I know, I tried. I really tried. Alright, ACE system. Modern day knights in an aerial battlefield. The aces were fighters credited with a minimum of 5 kills or forced downs, landings, or crash landings. The term ace appeared at the same time as the first dogfights, when pilots started to fight against each other. Propaganda relied on these heroes to boast about a country's aerial superiority. Few aviators lived long enough to enjoy the status of ace, yeah. Sadly with that. Alright. Now let's get to the actual mission. So let's see what this item is. So I remember in the first game I kind of screwed up by not going through the description of the items we pick up, so I'm going to try to cover that, so... Ooh, trench dart flechettes as they call them, yeah. These darts are designed to be dropped by aircraft into enemy trenches, measuring about 4 inches long and weighing just under 2 ounces. Good, I don't know in kilos how much, or is that? Flechettes could pierce through a helmet into the skull underneath. So if one of you wants to type in what 2 ounces is in kilos, go for it for our European audience in chat. Dogfighting the Weltkrieg was entirely terror bad, yeah. More than 2, less than 59.69 grams. Okay. Alright. Large wood saw. Before the Battle of Vinny Ridge in 1917, Canadian soldiers had to prep the battlefield. They used saws to remove trees and foliage, then built roads, trenches, and railroads to transport supplies to the front. Okay. Oh, so it looks like we gotta assemble the plane parts. Okay, so we have to do these minigame, this interactive adventure. Basically a little more than half a chocolate bar. Oh, okay. Oh, that's gotta be a poppy seed plant. Yep, Remembrance Poppy. In 1921, the red poppy became a symbol of remembrance for casualties of the Great War. The symbol comes from the first line of the poem In Flanders Fields by John McCrae. Yeah. Your characters run like a girl. You know, actually, good point. I like how it's just kind of stiff a bit. Man, the items are just laying around, like, within feet. Alright, we gotta get one more item. Pilot Scarf. In the Great War, all planes were open cockpit. For protection from freezing temperatures, pilots wore thick leather jackets and silk scarves. I mean, that's why you see them in the leather caps and all that. Okay, get the propeller down. Thankfully, my my history of the first game makes it easier to understand the basics now. Because nothing really changed as far as I could tell, besides this game runs at 60 FPS, which I know didn't look much different than the first game, but I do notice some improvements. But the art style is like 99.9% the same, just with a new color palette and based on locale now. So probably just like an improved engine of the same thing. And there's our last item to pick up back there. Alright, let me get it on the box first before we read the entry for that item. Yeah, apparently we're playing as George of the Royal Flying Corps. I assume he's British in this case. Alright. RFC badge. The pilots of the Royal Flying Corps pin these badges to their caps. The media romanticized pilots as knights of the sky, soaring above the destruction and carnage on the continent. I mean, it did have a bird's eye view of the chaos below. I remember when my Hurricane and Il-2 Sturmovik got shot in it.
I am a cop, and you will respect my authority!
Yeah, respect the authority. What was I getting at again? Got shot and it knocked out my radiator. My plane started freezing over and I had to push my engine not to die of cold. Oh jeez, that sucks. Probably would happen though, so let's put it that way. Oh wow, this is a lot easier than the first game because you had to do it in phases. Alright, plane is assembled, everyone. George, you might want to go after you, dummy. That's like a cartoon scene. What the heck? Come on. Oh, now it's gonna be one of these mini games. You gotta dodge the projectiles coming in. Come on. Oh. Let's see if I can do this first try. Oh. Okay, that was a little close. Man, you think he would you think you would like speed this up a little bit? Oh, okay, that works. First try. Okay, alright, that's already the first silly moment of this game, to be honest. Oh no. Oh no, we're doing this. Oh no, hey guys, remember the car scenes from the first game? Oh no, it's the British song. I forgot what this one was. Oh no. We're gonna have the synchronized collision course stuff. Get out of here, you damn freaking eagles / hawks. Yeah, pretty much don't die collision minigame. I thought maybe we would have like an interactive game where we're trying to dogfight. I don't know. I'm just gonna try to speak over it because I know it's what this song entails, so I'm gonna try my best. So let's get some conversations going while I'm trying not to die here also. Just shoot the plane, that should work. Oh, okay, speaking of shoot the plane, oh my god. I just jinxed it. But yeah, so hold on, can I turn down the... Oh, there we go. No, it doesn't work! Damn it! Hold on. Is it this one? Hold on. Yes, there we go. I fixed it. I fixed it! Apparently it's SFX sounds, not music, apparently. Ah yes, pure silence. Why are we being shot at by an allied territory? I guess I'm flying towards Vimy Ridge, which is contested air, I guess, so that's why there's bombs dropping and shit. Also, how are balloon guys dropping bombs on me from above? Also, I'm dodging birds and fighters and bombs coming from above somehow. Well, you do remember we did have that that vehicle pursuit where it was just a huge ass like armored car with dropping mortars out of the top of it. Like it's some goddamn Looney Tunes vehicle, you remember that? Okay. Yeah, this is already jumping to shark, or like sadly you can't listen to the copyright music, but you can't even hear the gunfire, so I'm just gonna have to keep it quiet till this is over. Oh man. Pew 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 pew. Oh, taking hits, I'm going down. Okay, there we go. Okay, now. Oh no, it's.
What?
Oh.
What the fuck? His haphazard flying, George
High
managed
quality.
to pinpoint the enemy's location.
Okay.
He relayed the information to Freddy, who then launched the strike on the enemy cannons. But despite the triumph of reclaiming Vimy Ridge after 3 long years, their victory was marred by the dead bodies strewn across the hillside.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it shouldn't have done that. I don't think it should have done that music. I think what it should have done, and hear me, I'm going to change, I have to go to the menu again to get the sound back. Because I think there was supposed to be... hold on. I might... Apparently okay, we're having the polar opposite happen, and the SFX is affecting the audio of the talker instead of the background music. Great audio mixing already. Hold on. I'm gonna have to fix it now. Alright. Changes episodes. Having a silly flying section and then talk about horrors of war seems a bit... Yeah, that... Okay, the way I should have been done, and this is already my first slight complaint about this. Instead of it being the just flying, dodging shit, it should have been left to right 2D perspective, where you're trying to dodge, you know, incoming gunfire as you're like taking photos of targets below. You know what I mean? And then you radio and support. Something like that, because you have to dodge fighters, you have to dodge aircraft guns. Just a simple like zoomed out perspective, and you can see the chaos below. That would have been a better bird's eye view than just flying and dodging shit to copyrighted music in this one. Alright, let's get to this now with the audio fixed. Yeah.
While Europe was torn apart by war, the U.S. had begun a massive mobilization in what many believed could permanently change the tide of the war. Aboard the USS Pocahontas was a racially segregated unit, the Old 15th, made up almost entirely of African American soldiers. These men were sailing to Europe, ready to put their lives on the line, to prove their love for a country that didn't always love them back.
Dear Freddy, we're on our way to France. This is our first night at sea. But don't worry, me and the boys are ready.
So I'm going to go ahead and put this out here just in case anyone had thoughts. So the first game, yes, it definitely took a lot of leaps of faith to try to prove that we can show you a entertainment value of World War I that taught you something, and also try to put it in a more neutral light regardless of where you come from, showing that basically war is hell and it affects everyone of every caliber and it's not a pretty thing. The one thing so far this game is getting right, besides, you know, the art style and the music still holding up as usual, is the new perspective on James, the African-American soldier. So for those that don't know, I remembered it as we were going through this earlier. The 15th New York Regiment would later become the 395th Regiment, or for those that don't know, it is the Harlem Hellfighters. To me personally, that is a good perspective to show, because there was a lot of, they were praised a lot. They were fighters, you know, like they gave them hell. That's why they gave them the name. But also they had to deal with a lot of segregation back at home and not being treated as equals in terms of war heroes and fighters. So this game covering it for the Americans' perspective, I think is a good choice, because it's an obvious one without pushing too much of like a narrative about the minority stuff, if you want to talk about that. So I hope you get what I'm talking about with that. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't know. Can you really be neutral when it comes about segregation and racism when it comes to the United States military back then? Because that is a legitimate black and white situation where you had segregated units and they were not treated the same through and through, but they fought for the country. So yeah, let's move on. So I just wanted to just get that out there ahead of time in case we start coming across any bumps in the road on that.
Speaking of the fellas, I lucked out and I'm getting on good with a fine bunch of them. There's Fidgety Lang Edwards, who never puts down his drumsticks. Jack Harris, our medic from Chicago. Joey Brass is from Harlem and plays a mean banjo. And Chef Caldwell is always cooking up stuff for us. We just have to make sure to get served before BB Johnson. Great guy, but he can really put it away.
You should put that live grenade back, son.
Practice is about to start and there's no jazz band.
You shouldn't just casually be holding that out in the stove.
Stay safe. We'll see each other soon. Your brother, James.
Oh, we're doing a mini game now. Do. Bum 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 bum. I gotta pay attention to the screen. Sorry, chat, because it's in different quadrants. You can kind of see where the phone app thing comes in play, because you were supposed to do a touch screen in different corners. Well, James does a really good oboe. Honestly, oboe is kind of underrated instrument out there. If you use it right, it's pretty damn good.
As the Pocahontas continued to cross the Atlantic, their encounter with the German U-boat 155 brought them ever closer to the fight. Entering the battlegrounds of the war, their ship was spotted by Ernst.
Oh, that's the other guy on the front cover. So we're gonna cover his perspective of the war. So we're finally gonna get the submarine U-boat corps perspective. Oh, the Battle of Jutland. Oh my god, that was something.
On land, the conflict was bogged down in trench warfare. Neither the Allies nor the Central Powers were able to make significant gains. At sea, Allied forces dominated Germany with a crippling blockade. Determined to stay away from the war, Ernst escaped to the solitude offered by the depths of the sea. It was here below the surface that he scavenged, hoping to eke out a living.
Yeah, you're right. I'm surprised they said allies. I feel like they're kind of making allies too much of a broad term from the Second World War to associate the first as the Entente. Yeah. North Sea, May 31st, 1916. Oh, we're doing deep sea diving over here, boys. Alright, that's an interesting perspective change. Let me check with chat. I missed a few of your messages, Finn, hold on. It was a bad thing we fixed that. Took us too long, that's how humanity was. We're still not using nuclear power, even though it's the most efficient green energy provider. You need to get 100% precision in order to unlock circuit harem and in yeah, only F. Alright, fact time. So I think I remembered in the first stream for the first game, I was kind of surprised that we're going to cover the battle of I think it's pronounced Jutland. Before I used to call it Jutland. I think in English it's Jutland. I think in German they pronounce it Jutland for the English equivalent. But this was the one and only major naval battle of the First World War in terms of scale. Until the Second World War with, you know, the war in the Pacific and all that. Hey, Jutland. Okay. Alright. So then I'm just forgetting the he, or the he, and just saying Jutland. Yeah. Alright. Battle of Jutland and the War at Sea. On May 31st and June 1st, 1916, the largest sea battle of World War I took place. Two fleets fought for control of the North Sea, the British Empire's Royal Navy Grand Fleet against the Imperial German Navy under Kaiserliche Marine. I think that's... I think I got that right, Kaiserliche Marine, yeah. 250 ships of all types were involved. And while the death toll was higher on the British side, 6,097 lives as opposed to 2,551 German, there was no clear winner of this battle. The younger German Navy avoided a similar large-scale direct confrontation until the end of the war. The picture shows ships sailing in convoy, a strategy adopted to be less prone to submarine attacks. Dreadnoughts. Naval War in 1914 relied on fleets of large high-sea ships known as dreadnoughts. Also, leash is the word is pronounced more like lick. Yeah, it's just that I remember my dad, who's German, told me it from where he grew up, it was pronounced leash. But I know what you mean. Or leash, and then there's versions where you say it's like. So yeah, it could be, yeah, it should have been pronounced Kaiserliche. Wrong side for dreadnoughts, also no rockets, yeah. The success of the Allied blockade in the North Sea, the failure of the Dardanelles, and the mixed results of Jutland reshaped the naval landscape. The Germans invested in underwater technology of fast U-boats, establishing a fleet of 128 U-boats by the early as February 1917, while the Allies armed merchant ships, the U.S. Navy had its own disposal of a large fleet of escort and light ships that deployed rapidly to Europe to protect merchant ships once the U.S. entered the war in 1917. In German, certain affixes and suffixes are pronounced different based on sentence position and word form. Yeah, because there's a male, female version of the suffix and affixes, and then there's a they, them equivalent. Yeah, there's like 5 different forms usually in German for the same word, but they're pronounced differently. Total naval warfare. The Allies had the upper hand in the seas as early as 1914. They used the advantage to attack German colonies or open new front lines, such as the Dardanelles in 1915, which you can thank Churchill for fucking that up, as the Admiral of the Royalty, or Admiral of the Navy position, whatever that was, if I remember. In an attempt to break through an ongoing blockade, the German Empire launched an underwater war that turned into total naval warfare at the end of January 1917. Its fleet of 150 U-boats would sink millions of tons of ships and cargo, mainly in the northern Atlantic Ocean. The picture shows 2 sailors manning the anti-submarine gun. Yeah, just like a small deck gun on the front. Let's see, most words have 3 genders, some more, some less, and there's 5 or 6 forms per gender per word. It depends. See, that's what I mean. It's like, it's just an insane amount you gotta remember and try to, which form is appropriate. Which, my brother who lives in Germany, who's full-blooded German, tells me that not all forms are actually used. It's fair. They say that the etiquette is to use the proper versions, but in today's world, they're more casual, so I think they stick to like 2 or 3 at best out of the 5, 6 for most suffixes, affixes. But if you're trying to be formal with like the older generation Germans, then you use the other forms. Yeah. I tried to learn German. Don't get me wrong, like if you give me a full paragraph in German, I can maybe translate like 20% of it, maybe. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, to be honest. Ooh, candles. Darn, we're just trapped. Well, he's just kind of accepting it. Do you see a sparkling thing under this box? Oh. Alright, let's see what that one is. Navy propaganda poster. This Navy poster urges civilians to donate glasses, binoculars, spy glasses, and any objects with lens to the war effort. It says, will you supply eyes for the Navy? Alright. Alright, let's see. Is there anything over here? Oh, another item. Oh, it's like a pipe. Okay, so I gotta use it to throw. See, is it C or C? C or C? I think it's C. See, Aaron form is used to show respect. It's also genderless. If you use it with a friend, it seems it's disrespectful, though. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. It's like, even, like, the more formal is informal to use amongst friends, and that's why I never liked trying to get right. And there's a short C form, which is feminine, usually adds ein or einen to the word, yeah. Alright, let me see what was over here past the box. Anything? No. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to check, how is the stream on everyone's end? Is it look alright? Sound alright? Stream is good, okay. I'll take that. I'll give them some credit. They don't make him fast as fuck underwater. That's a good sign of at least effort put into that, right? And the fact that, like, you can see, like, they're trying to give the idea that, like, there's pressure against his legs so you can't run as fast in place. Alright, U-boat propaganda poster. In its first battle, the Unterseeboot, or the I hope I got that right, Unterseeboot, or U-boat. United sank 3 warships within an hour. With only 28 submarines in service, the German Navy desperately needed to build more. Propaganda was employed to convince the public to fund the war effort. Hold on, let's go back out for a second. Got a ladder here we gotta check out. See, I told you, like, don't pass me on German. I will try to respect it if you can get it not right the first time if I can. If I can get at least 80% correct, then that's not an insult to the language as a foreigner. That means I'm actually giving a damn to attempt it. Just like how I try to figure out Polish and Czech with you guys, so when it comes to Thrak too. Let's see, basically German is harder than English. German is harder than English in almost every possible way, starting with over 7 times the vocabulary and ending with gendered words, yeah. Okay, insult language, I mock mine every day. I mean, true. Like I said, I think I said this before, and I'll say it again, is that, just hearing the constant amount of people that are overseas saying, like, I hate my language with a passion, even though it's my mother tongue, but they said they'd rather speak English. I'm thinking to myself, oh, I guess, you know. You know, actually, that's a good point. How the fuck are these doors even working, even with the lever? Also, bubbles. Alright, another item. Is that a what was that called again? A sextant. That's what I was looking for. Alright, sailors in World War I had to navigate using maps, stars, and visual landmarks. They used a sextant like this one to measure between points and calculate their location on the map. Yeah, I had on the tip of my tongue, I was just like, oh, what was it again? It's like sex, and I was like, oh, those sextants. Alright, do I just drop off the face of the earth here? Apparently. But we got the item we were looking for. That was a recent shit. Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess we know what's going on above, everyone. I already have a good idea, based on the details we were given earlier. Let's see, different forms of sextants, sooner, lower, some lunar, some solar, and also used for horizon, yeah. Okay, that is a battle. That's a dreadnought. Okay, yeah, there's just a battle going on above us, that's what's happening. Yeah, bodies are just, coming down. Alright, we do have all the collectible items, so we can leave. Hey, you better hold on, Ernst. No, definitely not leaving after this. What are the chances of civilian vessels being in the middle of the Battle of Heutland by chance? I mean, just for the sake of narrative, I guess. Okay, so this is not out of the, this is not jumping the shark in theory so far. Because remember, I think at this point we're a civilian helping. Okay, so we gotta save a bunch of people, it looks like. It looks like we're saving German and Royal Navy survivors. Yeah, don't worry guys, I'm getting you aboard, just trying to get the life rafts for the other ones. And the life buoys, if you want to call it that too. Well, in this case, Ernst looks like he was just doing salvage slash so at this point, yeah, he said he didn't want to be a part of this war, so the war just came to him where he's working. Die Bruder. So yeah, he's German in this case. I mean, Ernst is a German name pretty much. Yeah, I gotta get them out of the freezing water before they die or drown. Oh, another item, okay. Alright, what's this? Fishing net. To combat naval mines, the British government turned to local fishermen for aid. Okay, well, but this case we're German, but it probably wouldn't be wouldn't say it wouldn't be equivalent to with the German perspective. These brave civilians use fishing nets to drag mines away from Royal Navy ships. Yeah, so I guess this is where the civilian perspective comes in. Alright, get aboard, soldiers. Of course, all those people died after I just saved them.
As his boat settled on the seabed, Ernst began to come to terms with the war's inevitable, all-consuming power. Defeated and alone, he could feel the Jutland waters' cold embrace.
Okay, well, English apparently is Jutland.
Around him.
So, that's what they taught me in school, is pronounced Jutland in English. But yeah, it's Jutland in the Germanic.
Stranded for hours.
Don't get me wrong.
Aftermath of the Battle of Jutland,
I'd rather know the official term for it.
Ernst was starting to feel his grip slip away. But when the merchant sailors aboard the submarine, the Germania, came to his aid, they not only saved Ernst's life, they also took him in as one of their own. In them, Ernst found kindred spirits and instantly felt right at home.
Yeah, that's what I remember. A lot of people associate U-boats and submarines with the Germans. They didn't realize that there was actually a civilian merchant fleet that used submarines to bypass the harsh
home,
waters.
You have to carry your weight.
So, while they were few in numbers, they were still used, so... Germania, Atlantic North, near Baltimore, July 10th, 1916. So we're still in the past. Alright, U-boats. While the British Navy bet on the dreadnoughts, the German Imperial Navy opted for U-boat technology. Although the U-boats proved very effective at first, with the U-9 sinking 3 British warships in a single hour, naval warfare adapted to this new technology with faster ships and changes in navigation. In 1917, increased naval battles resulted in more than 3,000 ships sunk in that year alone. Jesus Christ. Yeah, there's private subs in the ocean right now, yeah. Like I said, the first thing people associate with submarines or U-boats terms is they're all German, they're military. Not necessarily. There's definitely a small percentage of it that was private or mercantile fleet ones. Alright, troop transport by sea. By the end of the 19th century, major nations had at their disposal naval transport to move troops to or from overseas territories rapidly. When the US declared war on Germany, they didn't hesitate to seize German ships harbored in the US. These ships were then commandeered by the US Navy. More than 2 million American soldiers crossed the Atlantic by sea to reach France, some of them on German ships. That's interesting. In fact, I didn't notice that we commandeered the already harbored German ships at the declaration of war and did that. Some of the ships used for troop transport were turned into a hospital, ships over the course of the war. Yep. Oh, if you can see it on your screen here, the name of the ship on the bow is called Canada. That's a troop transport. Let's see, during the Second World War, the biggest submarine superpower is actually the USA. Your subs are better at killing Japs and all other classes in naval. Yeah, our submarine fleet was, I don't know if it actually superseded or was a close match for the German U-boat program, but when it came to the Japanese Navy, oh yeah, it was like hunter-killer mode when we had a chance with their convoy fleets and all that, resupplying islands. It was like free range. It was basically the German U-boat program in the Pacific. It was just basically just a free-for-all zone, almost. Plus we use it for observation of other movements at sea for the aircraft carrier fleets and all that. Because submarines weren't meant to just straight up do hunter-killer mode on ships. It was also used for observations at sea with the low profile. Because if you fly a plane, Japanese are going to see that from a mile away if they're looking up. They ain't going to look along the water lines that well sometimes. Alright, camouflage. During World War I, technical progress enabled better detection, aiming, and fire capabilities for onboard artillery. Camouflage, the art of deception, was also necessary at sea to deceive the enemy. Ships are painted with zebra lines so that the enemy submarine scouting was not as effective and prevent the submarines from hitting their target due to inaccurate distant estimates. Yeah, that's when you start seeing the camo patterns on ships around this time. And then a little bit later, it'd be on the tanks and all that. Okay. German subs were good, but you were outbuilding them and outperforming them at the same time. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Because we had the industrial might to outbuild, it didn't matter how good our crews were by then. We could just easily replace them with more ships and submarines. Alright, I'm just double checking. I want to make sure I didn't forget an item up here. Your crews are not bad, mind you. Yeah, I know. It's just that, you know, for the Germans, they had a lot more history with submarines than we did. But of course, you know, we would have the industrial might and manpower to fill that gap eventually. Okay. So they're gonna need to fix pipes. That one, right? Yeah. Right, now turn it. There we go. Alright, take the ladder to the right. Up, item. Alright. Oh yeah, I forgot. We need to read the 2 items here. Let's see. Excuse me. Periscope eyepiece. A critical component of a submarine's periscope. It allows the sailor to observe the surface while underwater. Which I'll tell you, when they finally figured out how to do periscopes for underwater use, it's pretty badass. So, wrench, used by Navy mechanics on submarine diesel engines. These engines were named after inventor Rudolf Diesel, who patented the first diesel engine in the 1890s. Fact. Fun fact. Thank you, Rudolf Diesel, for giving us one of the better inventions prior to the two world wars. I'd be curious if the diesel engine was never created, like how when they had to use electric motors and engines, or I forgot what the other type of engine was back then before diesel. It was the is it just a basic combustion engine or whatever they termed it as? Yeah, I know I'm going that way. I'm just checking, explore the area a little bit, you know. Oh, he told me. He's like, go back up. Okay, fine. Okay, now we're exploring.
1916. The U.S. had remained neutral, allowing for business as usual. Despite trade blockades, the few merchant submersibles in existence, like the Germania, were still able to trade with them.
Oh, hey, it's James from earlier.
James, who was working the Baltimore docks at the time, was surprised to see the submarine pull into port.
Okay, so this is before he enlisted. Okay.
Hey.
So we're doing a little bit of, like, backtracking. This background for everyone. No! Not my oboe. Well, we know one of the main reasons why they did that, besides being dicks. Okay, so yep, near Baltimore. Let's see. Diesel was originally planned to be use cow dust, and the first one running was on walnut oil. Okay. Alright, so I gotta go get the screwdriver from the crewmate. Where would he be? Oh, right there. Okay, welcome back. So we're on the next part of the level. We just arrived in Baltimore, and we met James, so we know that he worked at the dockyards before enlisting. This is in 1916, so we were still neutral with Germany and all that. And James got his toolbox knocked out, and he lost his oboe because three white dock workers kicked over, and as I was saying, there's two reasons why they did that. First, they're dicks, and two, you can figure out the other one real quick. So I guess this is where we're figuring out the relation between Ernst and James beforehand. Actually, yeah, I was gonna say, is there an item to collect? Oh, there's 3 objects. Okay, I need to look for them. Coming through, Captain. Alright, let's see. Can I go through there? Yes. There's nothing. Oh, what is this? Wireless telegraph. This new technology allowed telegraph messages to be sent wirelessly. U-boats and airplanes are equipped with wireless telegraphs to communicate great distances. Ah. I will admit, I did not know that. I figured that we were still requiring, you know, wire telegraph lines for communication. So there was quote unquote a portable radio at the time, just only used for a few cases, not the widespread radios that would become later. Oh, good. Time to brush up on my German again. Let's see. Let's see. Klabautermann. Is that how you pronounce that? Klabautermann. Let's see. Many German sailors believed in the Klabautermann, a spirit that protects ships. Here he is represented as a man with a hammer and a tobacco pipe. It is said he warns his ship's crew of danger, and that he only leaves his ship if it goes down. Oh, goddamn folklore. I mean, I didn't know that either, so I'll say the game is giving me some insight on some details I didn't know before. What's that next item? Rope or something like that? Oh, speaking of, I just found it. Knot collection. Since submarines spent most of their time on the surface, they were considered no different from regular ships. As such, sailors on submarines were expected to know how to tie proper knots. I mean, yeah. Get me my pig for a wrench. Okay, so we're gonna need to fix something. Oh, it just locks me. Oh, really? That's actually still a somewhat uncommon... Is it common or uncommon, is what you're referring to in that case? About the, they have the little shit on the ship. I would assume, like, it would probably be maybe only a few cases, whoever's manning the ship or part of the crew. Alright, so now we can get the wrench to James. Uncommon, obviously, but he shows up every now and then. Usually old sailors. Okay. He's like, I'm German. He says, I miss my oboe. The actual figurine looks nasty as fuck, by the way, but they usually have shit-eating grins and such. Ah, yes, at the expense of, yeah, basically, haha, you're gonna die, and I get to get off the ship and live.
Do you know the way?
I'm on the way to get a oboe replacement. Oh, so you know what that means? That means James's oboe that he has, quote-unquote, currently, if we fast forward time, is actually Ernst's spare. So that's where he gets it from. Well, I know what that means. Musica is music in German. That, kids, is how you spread tuberculosis. God damn it, Lieutenant. Oh. There we go. This has to be German. Yep. Oh, Austrian. Okay, my bad. My bad. I'm apparently not culturally appropriated in this case.
Dear Freddy, I'm glad to hear you're doing good. I hope you won't be upset with me, what with the war and all, but I recently met a German, and we really had a lot in common.
You play this in a pub in
It turns out
Strasbourg, and somehow someone will hit you with a chair.
I'm proud to say
I guess I need to be the first foreigner to do that.
we promised each other that when this war is over, me and Ernst will play together again. I intend to keep that promise. Your brother, James.
Well, we're about to see how that promise turns out.
The Germania's voyage was a commercial success, and her crew returned eager for their next trade. But their triumphant return was interrupted by the German Imperial Navy. As the sole German national aboard, Ernst was conscripted to fight.
Oh.
The submarine, too.
God damn, like, you know what Ernst is reminding me of? A bit of Emil. He just looks so goddamn depressed now, like, yeah, see that now you can see the interior's changed, he's changed now, and he just doesn't like it. I mean, this looks depressing already, and I only know Ernst, okay, like I said, Ernst ain't no Emil, but I actually am feeling more for Ernst so far in this game, I'll be completely honest. Yeah, even the color palette changed, and you could just see that this is basically Ernst, or Emil, in this depressed state halfway through the game. Oh, let's see what. Okay, so it looks like we ain't got nothing particular. Yeah, look at this. It's like just it went from like somewhat vibrant, like orange, red, and maybe a few bits of blue. Now it's just yellow, depressing. Yeah, everything's just yeah.
By decree of the Kaiser, the Germania was henceforth ordered to hunt convoys in the Atlantic.
Oh, no
Ernst
fucking
was
way.
faced with a grim choice: torpedo the Pocahontas and kill his friend, or disobey a superior's direct order and risk being put to death. He had chosen to save his friend, but knew it would only be a matter of time before he was ordered to kill again.
So they finally figured, so they already wrapped those two together in their storyline right then and there. Oh, chapter 2. We're already in chapter 2, everyone. There's 3 chapters, I checked, so...
1917, St. Manihold Hospital. Doctors and nurses alike tried in earnest to patch up swarms of broken bodies and wounded.
Also, we're back with Maria, the Belgian nurse
Anna,
from the first
the
game.
Belgian nurse.
Oh no, Anna, god damn it. Why do I think Maria?
The war to save soldiers.
I keep thinking Maria is the name. It's like, no, it's Anna. So the winter of 1917 already. Yeah, as a good U-boat captain would just shrug. It's worse to waste torpedoes than deal with someone unable to follow an order for personal reasons, yeah. Alright, let's see how they change the medic minigame. Okay, definitely a bit different so far. Oh yeah, I should probably read the facts. Let's see, field hospital. This war was the first war of such magnitude. Casualty management required a completely new organization. Evacuation from the battlefield was performed via stretcher. The wounded were carried to the triage tent, then transported to the field hospital when evacuation became possible. So emergency surgery could be performed with the required sanitary measures. X-rays. X-rays were first discovered by German scientist Röntgen in 1895. I hope I pronounced that right. because my dad told me the two dots above the O, you pronounce it as Röntgen. Or Röntgen? Oh, come on. Again, this is the German thing again. And they're used by medical staff began to spread at the turn of the century. The technology proved very useful for medical staff to treat soldiers who were victims of shrapnel. As early as 1914, the technology was adapted to cars in order to create mobile X-ray units. Initiated by the scientist Marie Curie and her daughter, their goal was to better treat casualties and to operate on wounded soldiers. Which, rest in peace, Marie Curie, one of the people that sacrificed her life with radiation poison from X-rays to get us X-rays. For better or for worse, X-rays is a marvel in itself. Umlaut O is either eaten or pronounced as sort of puking sound. Okay, well, I probably still butchered it. Sadly, that was my initial thing how to pronounce it. All right, stretcher bearers. As the first link in the chain of care, stretcher bearers often worked in difficult conditions. They had to walk with a regulation stretcher between shell holes and barbed wire before they could reach the wounded, and then take them to the nearest aid post in the rear, often under enemy fire. They also used tents to carry the wounded. Often these men had no medical qualifications. They came from a variety of backgrounds. They could be musicians, priests, or non-combatant personnel. Yeah. It's another piece of sad reality, too. Ugh. Oh. Oh, God. Okay, yeah, he has a deep laceration cut. Jesus. Okay, that's a little bit more disturbing this time around. Alright, so I guess they definitely want to go a little bit more in depth with the horrors of the wounds.
Hey, I'm a cop, and you will respect my authority!
Yeah, hold on. I think this music is different. This is actually really good. Somber, yet also trying to be uplifted a bit at the same time. Or are we outside? Ooh. That is an accordion playing, I think. Is that an accordion or is that something else? That might be something else. Alright. Oh, we got... Alright, so syringe. In 1914, a typhoid epidemic raged in the unsanitary conditions of trench warfare. Fortunately for soldiers, a typhoid vaccine was developed that saved many lives during World War I. Yeah. Speaking of tuberculosis earlier, Lieutenant, yeah, typhoid was definitely something to be scared of back then. That was like 90% chance to die from. To be honest, it's sad to think that triage was so bad that most of the men will not return home and would die in the next month or so after surgeries, yeah. Alright, let's see how disgusting this is. Oh god, there's fragments in his arm. Oh my god, okay. Yeah, he's got shrapnel in his arm. Oh my god, okay, yeah, they're going more visual in-depth now with this. I will agree that that's actually a better take. That is more disturbing on the surface.
Sometimes Anna could heal the soldiers' ailments and put them on the path to recovery. Other times, it was a matter of alleviating their pain and merely postponing the inevitable. On this day, a rare ray of hope pierced the gloom of the hospital grounds. Finally, with the arrival of new medical equipment, technological progress would be used to help the wounded of war instead of producing them.
It's service radiologic. I mean, yeah, it's radiology.
Surprised to see her dear friend again, Anna handled.
Oh, it's Walter.
The
The boy is back.
Care. She
The boy.
couldn't wait
Our
to speak
1000
with
IQ
Fred
doggo is
and
back.
catch up on old times.
Good time as any to see the good boy. Oh, hold on. Oh, I can't leave this because I saw the item on the ground outside. Wait. Alright, let's see how this works. Whoa. Whoa, we're going modern now with the X-ray view. Oh, wait, what? Oh, I have to be faster than that? Okay, what the f- What? Oh, okay, I'm fat fingering it. What the hell? Come on. Dude, I barely have any time to grab, though. What? There we go. And up. 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 Alright, that's how it worked. Okay. Alright, now we got it. There we go. Alright, let's see. Fun fact, that typhoid vaccine. By the end of the war, they only made about one vaccine for every 173 sick soldiers, out of which every 10th died. Yeah, it was... Jesus. Alright, fluorescent screen. This screen allowed a radiologist to view X-ray images. In some cases, screens were mounted to the helmets of medics, allowing them to use their hands at the same time. An estimated 1 million X-ray exams were performed during World War I. Yeah, technically because of this, we were able to start to figure out, you know, shrapnel damage, trauma damage, and all that with early X-rays to start figuring out the extent of beyond just cutting a leg. Just say, okay, can you do an incision and get these fragments out? See. So I gotta go back inside. Ron handling of X-ray and killed over 2,500 nurses and doctors in France alone. Yeah, because they didn't know about the exposure rate and how to properly distance yourself while taking those shots, yeah. Also, I just want to make sure I didn't forget any other items back here. I'm just spamming A till I can pick up something. The good thing is that this led to formation of medical hazmat suits in the 40s. Yeah, some kind of radiation protection, yeah. Hey, Walter, good to see you. Who's been a good boy? Who's been a good boy? Yeah, you are. Yeah, Walter's with us. Alright, let's see what this object. Transfusion kit. Oh boy. Yeah, remember before they told you about using needles? Cutting-edge research in blood transfusion produced a formula of sodium citrate and dextrose that prevented blood clotting. This extended the shelf life of blood donations, allowed for transfusions on the front lines. In 1917, American medics began using refrigerated blood banks. Oh yeah, so another thing, if I remember correctly, back then, they didn't know about blood types, so when you did transfusion kits back then, you had a chance to actually cause blood poisoning to somebody until they figured that out around post-World War II, I think, when they started figuring out blood type sort of thing. And then that's why they had to specifically refrigerate O types, A negative, AB positive, and all that. Wait, what? Stream play sheet. Wait, what? Yeah, I was gonna say, don't give me that kind of... Alright. Also, I was trying to catch up with chat. Welt Creek transfusion. I had to make a paper about that in high school. Oh, that must have been a fun topic to talk about. It's better. They did nationality blood bags, German blood for German people. Yeah. Okay, so we need to get supplies, it looks like. Yeah, we got Walter the doggo back, so we're in good hands now. Okay, go steal that key from me, boy. We're back at it with the 1000 IQ dog moments. He's probably 1500 Q now. Yeah, good Walter. How do we... Oh, okay, he's just gonna... Did it... What? What? Wait a minute. Did he just go... Did he just go to the... Wait, well, what? Okay, that is a fireplace. Did he just go up the fucking chimney and just phased into the attic like it was nothing? What the hell? Yeah, he's definitely evolved in IQ level since last time. Yeah, he's reverse Santa Claus on his way up there. Alright, let's go take care of that one guy downstairs, because I know you can't carry more than one item in this game. Alright. Oh, got more fragments. Ugh. Oh, you're lucky. He got more powerful between games. I mean, it took him 5 years, while the war took another, like, 2 months to go by, technically. Okay, good Walter. Again, this is why it was a good thing to get around to the sequel, because we had to see Walter Boy again. See how they treated him this time, and so far they made him even more powerful than last time. Oh, here we go. Actually, wait, there's an item right there. Oh, I'm gonna have to pull it out first. Doggo Considerata, yeah. Stretcher, a foldable French army stretcher from the First World War. It measured 7.4 feet and weighed about 22 pounds. Each regiment had around 300 stretchers and 600 stretcher bearers to evacuate wounded soldiers from the battlefield. Alright. Alright. And up we go. We gotta find something else. I think that's the item we need right here. Yep, for the soldier. And here's our last pickup, which that looks like a Red Cross armband. Worn by medics on both sides of the conflict, the white color symbolized neutrality, a reminder that medics were not to be shot at. Japanese didn't care. World War II. Vietnam War. Medics, also same thing. Yeah, that's me. Alright. The guy with the towel needed the towel was right here. Yeah. God, even more fragments. There we go. Exactly. Nobody runs the medic armband insignias because it just basically says, "Hi, I'm a big target. Time to do some war crimes."
Reunited, Anna and Freddy both took solace in the bonds of friendship. Hearing the bombs fall, Anna knew they had struck the heart of a populated civilian area. Always quick to act, she drove off to help the wounded.
Please don't tell me why we have... Okay, good. No car section, thank God. Oh, okay, we got new facts. Okay. Motorcycle. The early motorcycles, yeah. At the start of the conflict, civilian motorcycles with limited horsepower, 175cc or 350cc, were requested by the Army. Not adapted to war conditions, they were rapidly replaced by more powerful models specifically produced by various manufacturers. These serviced as machine gun motorcycles, ambulances, and more. They were also essential for fast liaisons between units. Norton, Triumph, and Royal Enfield produced sidecars for serial or fat tire motorbikes. With the arrival of American forces in Europe, Harley-Davidson and Indian did so as well. Yeah, and also because of this war, Harley-Davidson and Indian became really big in the United States, especially the expansion of the models. Because of the soldiers back home wanted to ride them again, and they started making better models based on the ones in the war. Canary Girls. With the men away at war, women filled positions in the factories, including weapon factories. Shells contained a mixture of TNT and cordite, and weapon factory work involved mixing it by hand to fill the shells and bullets. Contact in the mixture would stain the skin yellow, resulting in a nickname for the women working in these factories, Canaries. The work paid half of what men earned, and they worked grueling hours in terrible conditions. Another harsh fact in reality back then. It's like while the men were dying on the battlefield on the war front, women were basically getting poisoned and also dealing with potential explosives with hands for half the pay and just as much hazard in some cases. I know. So women suffered their own ways back then, so a lot of them thought that they could make a difference to maybe bring their husbands and brothers back home. And sons as well. So far this game is definitely covering some other aspects of the war that I definitely would have asked to at least see something about, you know. So it looks like we're going to be rescuing people from a factory. Christmas packages. Soldiers often receive packages from their families back home. But the value of packages increased dramatically during the holidays. National governments and charities sent troop packages of food for Christmas, and some soldiers even received miniature Christmas trees. Well, that's kind of cute. I mean, German people took it very seriously for Christmas, so... the only place where women fought was Slavic lands like Russian Empire, Austria-Hungary, and Scandinavia, yeah. Oh, it is a munitions factory, oh boy. I hope this place isn't going to explode eventually, because that usually can cause a chain reaction with the fire going on. Another item, let's take a look at this. Oh, apparently there was something going on. Game? Game? Are we, did we just have a bug? Oh, wait, no. Okay, I think it fixed itself. Okay, I was about to have to force restart that. That's the case. Anyways, gotta fly down. Wish you good luck to the stream. Yeah, appreciate it, Finn. Thank you for stopping by. Alright. What was it? Wooden comb. Due to the risk of explosions, objects made of metal were abandoned in munitions factories. In place of a hairpin, women used wooden combs like this to put their hair up. Guess that makes a lot of sense. Can't find a handle, huh? Wait, hold on. I thought I saw something yellow. There we go. Oh, wait, hold on. There's a key there. Oh, I can't. Hold on. Maybe if I get Walter up here. Alright, get on, Walter. Good boy. Alright. Alright, go get the key. Alright. Might need to bring it down to here. Okay, I might need to switch items with him. Hold on. Give me the key. Yeah, good. Yeah, you hold on to that brick in your mouth. Hopefully it doesn't hurt you. Alright, new item. Let's see what this is. Letter from the front. An estimated 10 billion letters and postcards were mailed during the war. They are often brief, but allow soldiers and their families to stay in touch and share news. Soldiers didn't pay for postage, but their letters went through a strict censorship process led by the censorship department to protect sensitive information and through a general monitoring led by the postal control to observe soldiers' morale. Yeah. I mean, that they still use that today, technically. Alright, so we need another key, so we're gonna need to get Walter up there. Buddy, you need to stay on there. And they're good. No, Walter. No. Oh, come on. Walter, get on the platform. Go to that one. Alright, now grab that. Grab the key. Grab the key. Grab the— I said grab the fucking key. Oh my god. Fine, just give me the stupid brick. Come here. Give me that damn brick. Come here. Give me this. There we go. Come on. You're a 1000 IQ dog. You should be able to do this. Alright, grab the key. There you go. Now come back. There we go, finally. Alright, you hold on to the brick like a good boy. We get the other person in here saved. Actually, you know what? Hold on to the brick for me. We just need one more. Work overall. So the war forced many changes in society, notably in the industry. Women were hired in factories across the world producing weapons and ammunition. Excuse me. Flying in the face of gender conventions, many women wore overalls to work. So far they've been roughly like the same interactions. Alright, there's the item. Ration tickets. Food shortages were chronic during the war. Bread ration had started as early as 1915. Staple foods such as bread, meat, pasta, and rice were rationed. In 1917, the French government rationed sugar and even banned bacon pastries. The only product to escape rationing was tobacco. Isn't that funny? How do we get that to work? Oh, Walter. Okay, go up there. Grab the rod and we can save the other people. Alright, now we can go save the people. I think. Oh, there we go. Get out of here when you can, before this thing goes kablooey. Of course. Yeah, that building is not going to hold, lady.
Seeing a Zeppelin creep toward the bombed factory, Freddy feared the worst for Anna. He hopped on his motorbike and raced to join her.
Are we going to have another vehicle part? Nope, okay.
Freddy arrived just in time to see Anna emerging from the debris. She had once again put her life on the line to save others. December 27th, 1917. The Pocahontas arrived in Brest, France, to a celebratory welcome. Unknown to the Old 15th, the decision had already been made to use them only for combat service support. They were not to see battle. Desperate for soldiers to fight, the French pushed hard for the newly arrived 15th to join them on the battlefield. They were eventually successful. The old 15th would fight under the French banner and be renamed the 369th Infantry Regiment.
Yep, or known as the Harlem Hellfighters
The Americans
eventually.
were once again outfitted as soldiers should be, then paired up with a French counterpart. They would now all fight together.
San Menehold's. Yep, March 2nd, 1918. We're already in 1918, boys. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to read these entries, sorry. December 21st, 1917. I need to get some sleep. A few winks will do, but this never-ending war just won't let me. Sometimes I feel like I'm drowning in the wounded. And some of them are so young, barely a hair on their chin. It saddens me to see them suffer in their prime, but I'm here to help and get them back on their feet. I'm not going anywhere. That mobile X-ray unit is going to be a lifesaver. I know it. I'm curious to meet the American medic Jack Harris to show him the petite Curie, and maybe he could teach me about transfusion techniques. And then I've got to go where I'm needed, and that's Vimy, but that means leaving Freddy behind. I like being down there in the silence, busy searching for those little objects. Sometimes I get caught up that I forget you're not going to be there to pull me back up into the boat. Always and forever our boat. Anyways, I think I'll dive again in the morning. Hopefully the water will be clearer. The seas have been choppy and restless lately. This ain't our boat, Eric. This bloody war took our boat. It's all I had left of you. If that U-boat hadn't plucked me out of the water, I think I would just let go and sunk with the rest of those poor sailors. I didn't think anything could lift my spirits, but there's some really good men in this crew. They even made me laugh, and for the first time in a long time, I don't want to be. I've had enough of this damn war. More troops could help, but part of me hopes not one more soul has to suffer. Especially not James. I love him, and I know that this war would break him. As Emil always says, it's family that matters the most, and you have to do everything you can to protect them. Oh, man. He referenced Emil again. In the middle of all this, seeing Anna again, speechless. Goes to show you never really know how things will turn out in this war. It's hard to believe Anna's here is with me now and still the same amazing woman. Also still stubborn. She puts her mind to something, she doesn't give up. Reminds me of someone else I know. I'm sure she and James. And let's see, George has one entry. I'm so sorry I lost you in this god-awful war. Got to get this right. For you and for our country. I've watched you fly flawlessly for years. I know I'll be able to fly like you too one day. It's in my blood. Now it's time to keep flying. I promise to make you proud. I wonder where Freddy is. What's he doing? He never mentions the war in his letters. If there's anything getting him down, he wouldn't tell me anyways. He did talk about his friend Emil, though. I do wish Freddy was here with me, working at the docks. It's a tough job as it is, and if he was around, things would be different. Finally at the front line. We're raring to go, but everyone around us looks dazed. Bunch of tired and hungry boys. I wonder if Freddy's not far. Will I ever be able to find him in all this? I just hope these French soldiers are welcoming. How do you say? My name is James from the old 15th in French. I'll ask that nice entree fellow from Louisiana. I'm sure he'll know. Alright, I honestly don't know how far into the game we are at on Chapter 2. Let me do a quick confirmation of that. Ah. We got about 9 sections. Apparently I missed one item there, sadly. What are we doing on time? Give me 1 second, everyone. Trying to think if I should keep going. Otherwise, I might end up just doing one stream for this. Alright, you know what? We'll do the Trench Life, and then I'd maybe wrap it up from there.
The Americans were once again outfitted as soldiers should be, then paired up with a French counterpart. They would now all fight together.
Let's go through the facts just like before, and we'll continue. Alright, Brest Harbor. Located in French Brittany, Brest was a military harbor able to accommodate heavy tonnage. It became the main entry point for U.S. troops to France in November 1917. Between 1917 and 1919, around 30 camps were established in town, allowing the transit of more than 800,000 men, greater than the current population of Washington, D.C. You can see in the picture American troops marching in the city. Railways. Railways were the best way to rapidly transport thousands of men, animals, and material. It was used as early as 1914 to bring men to the front and to concentrate forces at the border. Railway stations and marshalling stations quickly became essential logistic nodes for troops, but were also vital for the transport of casualties, prisoners, and supplies. German troops set up new military railway stations a few miles from the front in areas they had occupied. The image shows Russian troops being transported to Thessaloniki, or the Macedonian front. Food on the front. The logistics required to bring food to the front were impressive. For example, the British sent over 67 million pounds of meat to the Western Front on a monthly basis. They altered between fresh, frozen and tinned food, but they also established mobile units to prepare and bring hot food as close as possible to the front line. The image shows French soldiers loading loaves of bread prepared in Saint-Cyr near Paris on a train to head on to the front. The old 15th and the 369th. The 15th New York National Guard Regiment was formed in 1916, made up of exclusively non-white soldiers. Mostly African Americans, but also Cubans and Puerto Ricans, and led mainly by white commissioned officers, but also a few African American commissioned officers. On its arrival in Europe, it was renamed the 369th Infantry Regiment. Initially assigned to the U.S. Army Service and Supply, it was rapidly integrated into the French Army as a fighting unit. They kept their American uniform, but were equipped with French helmets and guns. They traded their helmets for US-issued ones later in the conflict. They shared their culture with the French, introduced them to jazz, but also to new sports such as baseball and basketball. So, some integration going on there. Alright, so we need logs. Up, Adrian helmet. Just hit my own guy with that. Also, Adrian helmet. In the early days of the Great War, 77% of all wounds were in the head. 80% of them were fatal. By 1915, French soldiers were issued steel helmets to replace their ineffective cloth caps. The helmet was named after the engineer who designed it, Adrian. Alright, so we need potatoes. Maybe get a snowball and throw it at that guy. Oh. Oh, hey, it's Anna and Walter. She just figured out that's Freddy's little brother. Alright, what is this object? English spoken here badge. English speaking French soldiers often wore this badge to show that they could facilitate communication between French speakers in the old 15th. Oh. No, that's actually interesting. I didn't know they did that. I guess it makes sense because you definitely want to make it somewhat of an easier job for everyone to handle. How do I... Hold on. Oh, go back in there. Oops. Alright, so I need to find something. Why does it not let me go any further here? Yeah, I know I need potatoes, but... Supposed to throw something at them? I have no clue. Gotta be missing something. How do I get to the... Wait. There's like no other item I can see. I can't go that way. The only interactable item I can get is a snowball, so what am I... Where would it be? Is there something I need to throw this? I don't even know what to throw it at. Like, what am I supposed to... Where? What? Is there something... Bruh. Is this seriously a level that it's actually gonna piss me off because I can't figure it out? Like, I've interacted with just about everything here. Maybe I should have stopped earlier. This won't let me pass there. Talk to him? Again, what do I do here? Oh, for fuck's sake. Do I have to literally pull up a guide for this? I really don't want to. Like, I'm trying everything under the sun. What? Fuck's sake. Alright, game. You pushed me to this point. And plus they don't have the the hint tutorial thing, it looks like, not even in this one. Ugh. Like, I feel like I'm gonna be a complete fucking idiot because I can't figure this out. Oh my god, of course. Are you shitting me? Is it because I didn't collect the letter from the guy? I literally interacted with them. Let me go try this again. I literally talked to the guy. I don't have the... Did I not spam the button enough, or I have to restart this? I'm gonna have to restart. Great game.
The Americans were once
Please, like, skip
outfitted
this.
as soldiers should be, then paired up with a French counterpart. They would now all fight together.
Alright. Wood. Snowball. Throw it at the guy. Grab the container. Grab log. Alright. Set to talk to this guy and he should give you a Yeah, that didn't happen last time. He didn't give me a letter, so I wasn't going insane. It bugged out. You've got to be kidding. Alright, now I can give it to the guy and he can give me potato access. So yeah, I wasn't going insane. Alright, what now? Oh, now I need a top. Where to go for that? Need some mortar for the top. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. So yeah, the game bugged itself. Alright. That's not a good sign. It actually bugged out twice for me almost. Alright. Lebel rifle. Standard French rifle. This bolt-action 8mm rifle could hold up to 10 cartridges with an effective range of 250 meters. The bayonet and spare ammunition, the Lebel rifle weighed nearly 11 pounds. God damn, it's a big-ass mortar. Look at the fins on it. Here you go. Take your huge shell. Okay, I assume I have the top now. He just gave it to me. There we go.
You know Freddy?
Oh, he's gonna actually see his brother, huh? Ah, there he is. Brothers reunited.
For James and Freddy, the long-awaited reunion was a powerful reminder that neither time nor distance can erode the extraordinary bond of brotherhood. The general mood among the 369th Infantry was one of camaraderie and shared purpose. Anna, joining them for a last meal before heading back to Vimy, was finding it particularly hard to say goodbye to Freddy.
Okay, so said to go to the right, correct? All right, nothing new. Okay.
I am Cornholio. I need tippy for my bunghole.
Put it up here? No. Yeah, hey, Lieutenant, good to see you're still sticking around. We're just we were dealing with some hiccups. The game actually bugged out and didn't give me the mission item that I needed to continue. So I had to restart.
But their renewed optimism was soon dashed. By nightfall, everyone in the 369th would be reminded of the perils this war had in store for them.